you have any questions? This gentleman spent his life in entrepreneurship. What would you like to know?
The questions you'll ask me won't be too technical.
All those go.
So, my name is Aldo Gomez. I'm from Chile.
Now, let me tell you, I hear less than 40%, so Tommy, tell me
Yes,
what
sir.
the question
Sure,
is.
I will go, Aldo.
My name is Aldo Gomez. I'm from Chile. So I'm very interested in making my business here. So what is the secret? Can you tell me something special?
What is the secret for the U.S. business that he may not see overseas? What makes the U.S. Markets and business opportunities special?
Well, I've not done business overseas, so I'll have to kind of stick to the United States. But to me, business, we create our businesses out of great ideas. Ideas that the American people will benefit from. And successful businesses create wonderful services that people benefit from. So if you're going in business, it's not a greed trip, it's a service trip. Put your service hat on, never take it off. And you teach that attitude to every single employee. Now, I've always believed in servant leadership. I hire a person, I tell them, I'm going to do everything I possibly can to help you become the person that you ought to become in life. And I want you to join me in rendering this wonderful service to the American people. We're going to make quite a team. And now, I'm an objective kind of person. I love human nature. I love dealing with a truck driver or a CPA or the guy that runs a computer department. They're all interesting. And I like to get to know my employees, their families, what's important to them, what are they reaching for in life. Once I really take an interest in an individual and then they know that I want the best for them, then I become a master communicator. And they will follow me because they know I want the best for them. So business and service is a people trip. Not a cleverness trip, trickery, or any of that sort of thing. It's rendering a wonderful service to the American people. And as long as you do that, I'll give you my simple definition of free enterprise. A free people exchanging their services with one another in competition to see who can do the best job. The American people are sitting back, they're the judge of your service. And if they don't ring your cash register with their support, you go out of business. The American people prune off those that fail to serve. People power at its best. Entrepreneurship is a wonderful way of life. It's a service way of life. And if you get good at rendering service and understanding people, you'll be good at it. But you got to have, if you're going to be an entrepreneur, you got to have an aptitude for it. You don't need to go on and become an entrepreneur without an aptitude for it. If you're a subjective person, you like to do hands-on stuff. You're not interested in sitting down with a truck driver and trying to communicate with that person. Now, I like that. I'm pretty good at it. And I want to tell you, I know this is not, y'all are short on time, so I'll tell you this quick story, and then you're probably going to go home if you're sleepy. But Shaylee and I retired, and we had this motorhome. And we traveled this country from one end to the other. We even went to Mexico and traveled a month. Well, the longer I went from town to town, the less interest I had for it. Because I felt like the next town would look kind of like the one I left. I told Cheyenne I've got to have a better project. So I decided that I would go into business that I had never been in before, and I would learn something new. So I decided I would go in there after laying awake at night, losing sleep, trying to find out what are you going to do at 65. So I decided I'd go in the furniture business. Never sold a piece of furniture in my life. Never had a retail business in my life. So got put it in a little town of 4,500 people down in the industrial park. If you're going to do research on the worst location in the United States, it would have been that location. Now, how are you going to get people to drive from 6 states to your place to furnish their homes? Well, I had to become the person. What did I do? We isolated the top 10 furniture stores in the USA. We hooked up the Jeep behind the motorhome and set sail. I would walk into the place and say, who's the manager? They may be doing $50 million a year or $100 million a year, the top stores in the nation. Once I found the manager with my yellow pad, I would tell him I was Tom Hendricks, coming out of retirement at 65. I'm going into furniture business, and I've never sold a piece of furniture in my life. I'm here today to get the best ideas you have. I have a yellow pad, and I want you to fill it up with the best ideas. The ideas that's made this store the talk of the country. My philosophy is if you want a cool drink of water, go to the head of the stream. That's the reason why I'm here. We crisscrossed the country. I never walked into a store that didn't fill up my yellow pad. They give me access to their staff. They gave me their policies and procedures. I came back to Selmer with a yellow pad full of the best ideas from the best stores in the nation. We put together a brainstorming session, and we brainstormed what we wanted to be in the Selmer Industrial Park, and we built it. We took it from 0 to over $1 million a month. And as we cut the ribbon to open the store, tears came to my eyes when I thought about all the helping hands across the nation that helped me build a store that families drove past furniture stores there to furnish their homes because all of these helping hands across the United States. Business people will be your mentor. They'll be helpful. And that is the best way to build a business, is talk to people smarter than you are. Does that make common sense?
Right. Any other questions?
Mr. Hendricks, you just said that you went back to the folks and you said we sat down and brainstormed. And we've talked to these folks about forming a team. What was the team that you formed when you were brainstorming your idea?
Well, I tried to pick the smartest people in the organization at that time. We were very small. And people that were on fire that accepted my idea that we're going to create a store that's going to be so much fun the kids will cry when they have to go home. And these people got excited. And brainstorming is it's the most fun thing you could ever do. Everybody's idea counts. And it's amazing what ideas will come out of a good brainstorming session when everybody's focused on the same thing. And, you know, I've always received way too much credit for my businesses. I don't do any of the work. All the work is done through other people. And when I get through sharing with all the people, I don't have a lot to gloat over. And that's a fact. So I think a businessman has got to be a strong leader. Shaylin and I came out of college, and I decided I wouldn't accept the job. I was going to build a business national in scope, and that's pretty stupid, really. But that's what I decided to do. And we went 10 years living in basement apartments, sacrificing, doing without, before the sun peeped through the cloud. And we started earning money and spreading our services through the nation. We borrowed $3,500 from the local bank there in town, rented the building for $20 to help schools raise money, because I went into the schools and found out back in the 60s they were totally disorganized. And I could make something out of that. We put that program together. In one 3-year period, we paid over $6 million to the federal government. That'd be probably 12 or more now, 12 million. We had a payroll of about 15 million. We raised 20, 30, 40 million dollars a year for schools. We did a lot of good. I'm going to tell you one story, and you'll probably want to go home. But I had a fellow right after we started Henco, and we was in this little old building. He came in one day, big, heavy-set, burly sort of fellow. He looked at me and he said, I want a job. I said, what kind of job are you looking for? He said, fella, I've got a wife and 4 children. I don't have a paycheck to go to the grocery store. He began to tell me the fix his family was in. He just broke down and started crying. I thought, wow, the family paycheck that enables a family to go to the grocery store, send the kids to school, pay the doctor bills, do all the things we do in America to live the good life, starts with a family paycheck. I decided that day that the family paycheck is the golden passport to the American dream. So you entrepreneurs, you job creators, it's a wonderful life. You can do a lot of good creating jobs for the American people. I have never started a business to create a job. You start a business to fulfill the needs. You hire people to help you fulfill the need. So I always tell people when I talk to the high schools, become a need filler. You'll always have work to do.
Where'd you go to college?
I spent my college days in this dorm and was the president of this dorm 2 or 3 years. I sold Bibles and worked my way through school. I had large numbers of people selling Bibles, and that was the springboard to me becoming an entrepreneur. It happened at this place.
Okay, there is some scatter matter here from the UT Research Foundation. Please pick that up. I have a